Have you ever been in a place where you are loving your craft or something that you're doing so much, but physically you're struggling to be there because you just can't? I mean, there is a struggle within you that you're just not able to take it up. You're all over the place, and it really acts against the mission of creating depth in the field that you love. So, what to do about it? Let's talk. Imagine that you're sitting for something that you really want to do, and let's say, for example, you want to start a YouTube channel, and then you are trying to sit and think about it, and you are trying to create your brand. You're thinking on what you really want to talk about, which niche you want to talk about, and all of that. And you have sat for the process of creating a YouTube channel, and 5 minutes or 10 minutes down the line, you are just switching your work up, you're switching and doing something else, and you're going here and you're going there, and you're telling to yourself that I'm going to be back within 5 or 10 minutes, and then you are never there. So the problem is not about friction, it is a mapping problem. And what do I mean by it? The idea is you have to fix your perspective. The initial friction tells you that your body requires a sense of admission to what is next to come. So whenever significant you're doing something, it is the body gets uncomfortable, it gets restless, it gets nervous because it is trying to do something that it has never done, and that feeling is not friction, it is something that you should be aware of, which will down the line help you to navigate and go through the initial friction of 30 minutes. Let me introduce you to a graph which I saw or read in some of the articles on productivity. This graph right around here is the depth threshold graph. Basically, it means that imagine it like this: there is one side, and then there is another side. On the one side of the graph, everything is hard, you are not able to do anything at all, you're not able to focus. And on the other side of the graph, you are flawless, you love what you're doing, you feel that you are in a state of flow, and you can write about do anything in that part of the graph. So that is the depth threshold graph. It also tells you that the initial 20 to 30 minutes really is the friction time that is required to switch yourself from the hard side to the side which you really want to be. And that is the side that gives you the flow of really mastering something that you really love. Let's understand the real mechanism behind this entire notion of creating depth in the area that you want. It reminds me, my dad used to say that, beta, jo bhi or whatever the things you want to do, try to spend some time related to the information around it so that you can have a warm up for the sessions that you are going to have next. Right, I was talking about the depth threshold graph before, and I was telling you about the easy side and the hard side, right? So the switching between the hard side and the easy side is right about 35 or 40 to 45 minutes, and when you do that, it takes you and makes your jobs easier. So the initial 30 minutes is a necessity, so do not try to associate it with productivity time per se, right? And what happens in our brain? Our brain is wired to get comfort, and it takes shortcuts. It wants to do easy tasks, it doesn't really like to do hard tasks. But the basic thing that it's doing is that it's trying to protect protect you from the hard things, which is good in a period of, or I should say in an era of time where we were in danger. But today it's not like that at all. So the initial 30 or 35 minutes are required for you to take that leap from the easy side to the hard side. That is the main idea that you have to keep. This perspective will change your life. Okay, the time for us to focus on the framework. What is the framework that we are using so that we benefit from this understanding, right? Point number one, that we have to commit to the initial 30 minutes without looking at the clock. And that is why, because it is needed, it is a necessity, and it is a necessity for you to get into a state of flow. Second, you should be automatic with your first 30 or 35 minutes. You should not think about or plan about anything what you're going to do. You have to tell it to yourself that I will give myself 45 minutes to assess what I have to do, or should I really go ahead and stay and commit my time into that task, because that is needed for you to get into a state of flow. And what may happen is that probably you may go beyond your 45-minute session per se. And finally, the main core idea is about not how much time you spent, but what was the quality of the time that you spent already, right? It's not about the 3 or 4 hours you're pulling off. It's about that 1 or 1.5 hours of quality focused time that is more beneficial for you, and not stacking up just hours and hours of time into your craft without any benefit or outcome. So yeah, these are the 3 points of framework I leave with you. Make sure you keep that in mind. All right, my final thoughts on this topic of creating depth, or how to spend enough time for you to create that mastery or get into a state of flow. What I have come to is a realization that we do not lack discipline or nothing as such that we are not good enough. The idea is that we have to chase clarity. I think clarity gives you a lot of room to perform. So getting that 1% better, getting the information to get 1% better is great, but the action or the execution to apply that 1% learning every single day in your life on a serious note is even greater, and that will take you something far. With that, I conclude this episode. Let's create a community where we strive together, we get each other's shoulders, and we step on each other's shoulders to get better. We exchange ideas, we exchange talks that creates the community valuable. And I would be thrilled and happy to engage with you guys on the comment section below. So with that, I'll see you on the next one. I can't wait to see what this channel is going to bring about. I can't wait to see how this channel makes you 1% better every single day.